Monday. Today is August 14, 2023. My name is Winifred Udebo, your host on this program. And of course, as usual, we have an array of newspapers for review on this first segment of your show. We have leadership newspaper Daily Sun, This Day, The Punch, Nigerian Tribune, and of course, our sister publication. We have the Guardian and Vanguard. These are papers for review this morning. And of course, as usual on the program, we like to start off with Nigeria's most influential newspaper, Leadership. Let's see what Leadership is leading with this Monday, August 14, 2023. Leadership says, 19 days after Niger coup, hope rises as junta leader open talks with ECOWAS. 19 days after Niger coup, hope rises as junta leader opens talks with ECOWAS. At Leadership Twitter Spaces, Perogi, Banda, Modibo, others call for caution. Beside that leading story, we have drug baroness, 4 kickpins arrested as NDLEA was 3 syndicates. NCAA threatens to grant aircraft over breach of insurance cover. Accept our new logo, NNPP tells INEC. Above that, we have concern mounts over Akpabio's utterance on Senate Bonanza. Concern mounts over Akpabio's utterance on Senate Bonanza. The story is on page 7 of Leadership. We have economic plan, Agora policy 6, inclusion of foreign exchange monetary policies. Economic plan, Agora policy 6, inclusion of foreign exchange monetary policies. Above the masthead of Leadership, we have Gombe Bochi Road cut off, travelers stranded. Gombe Bochi Road cut off, travelers stranded. 100 kids, 59 villages dislodged by Daraba crisis. And of course, from the headline stories, we move over to the page 3 of the paper where we have our stand. Our stand is the editorial of Leadership. And our stand today is on addressing youth unemployment. Addressing youth unemployment. We move over to the back page of the paper for the Monday column with Peter Side, and his topic is on challenging the new ministers. Challenging the new ministers. Ghana Must Go says, Shaibu to Obaseki, I'm going nowhere. I'll swim and sink with you. And of course, Ghana Must Go replied, just wear your life vests. Interesting. For more on that, Leadership headline stories, inside stories, the editorial, and of course back page column, log on to the website of Leadership newspaper, www.leadership.ng. From Leadership, we have the next paper on our menu, Daily Sun. Daily Sun is also leading with the same story like Leadership. Niger Republic coup leaders open up. Niger Republic coup leaders open up. That is the leading story on Daily Sun today, Monday, August 14, 2023. Fought ECOWAS for not having patience to hear their side of story before issuing ultimatums. Express readiness for peace talks. Dialogue, diplomacy should be priority. Obi. Niger Republic coup leaders open up. Fought ECOWAS for not having patience to hear their side of story before issuing ultimatums. Express readiness for peace talks. Dialogue, diplomacy should be priority. Obi. Just beside the masthead, we have Akpabio Abbas dragged to court over alleged 110 billion naira bulletproof cars orders. Bakari attacks APC Tinubu. Bakari attacks APC Tinubu. Bakari is a pastor. Pastor Bakari attacks APC Tinubu, claims government's decisions impulsive, urges president to kill corruption, not Nigerians. Niger, PDP accuses APC government of dragging Nigeria to needless war. Naira, CBN spends 155 billion naira on ROT 200 naira for dollar in 2 years. NJC dismisses fake letter allegedly surrendering power to governors. Igbo town unions urge Tinubu to free Kanu in line with court judgment. Border closure, we are losing 13 billion naira weekly. Northern traders cry out. Drug baroness, 4 kickpins arrested as NDLEA bust 3 syndicates in Lagos. Abia bans Okada KK in Umuahia, Aba. Hoodlums raise monarchs' houses. vehicles in Imo. Stories on page 5 of Daily Sun. For more stories on Daily Sun, the editorial inside pages, and of course continuation of the headline stories, log on to the website of Daily Sun, www.sunnynewsonline.com. From Daily Sun is also the same story making the headline on this day. This day says Muslim clerics Niger junta now ready to dialogue with ECOWAS. Muslim clerics Niger junta now ready to dialogue with ECOWAS. Apologizes for snubbing Tinubu's delegation. Says sacking Bazoum was in collective interest. PDP, APC desperate to drag nation to war for ulterior motives. War in Niger may signal end of ECOWAS, NLC warns. Lamido Huriwa Sani orders fourth military intervention. Above that, we have Bakari. Emefiele's case signals war against corruption. Corruption is clamped down on political opponents. I'll take that again. Bakari. Emefiele's case signals war against corruption is clamped down on political opponents. Says Nigeria regressing forcefully to bottom on Tinubu's watch. Above the masthead, we have Agora policy, why Nigeria must deploy holistic approach to foreign exchange operations. Shareholders accuse Otudeco of using court to stop FBN holdings, AGM. Mukhtar pleads with former chairman to consider interest of minority shareholders. That's all we can take on the headline stories today on This Day newspaper. For more on that, log on to the website www.thisday.live.com. From This Day, we move over to the next paper on our menu, and that is Nigerian Tribune. Let's have Nigerian Tribune on our screen. Nigerian Tribune says Niger crisis, Arewa Forum laments 13 billion naira weekly loss to border closure. Niger crisis, Arewa Forum laments 13 billion naira weekly loss to border closure. Says more than 2,000 trucks of perishable goods trapped at borders. Diversion of flights from Niger's airspace has not affected fares, Nanta president. Diversion of flights from Niger's airspace has not affected fares, Nanta president. We have other stories. Subsidy, Tinubu puts the cart before the horse, Bakari. Subsidy, Tinubu puts the cart before the horse, Bakari. Wants president to unite, not further divide Nigeria. Military never received any coup request, defense headquarters. I procured guns from police inspector. Armed robbery suspect alleges in Ogun. I procured guns from police inspector. Armed robbery suspect alleges in Ogun. Niger coup leaders ready for dialogue with ECOWAS. That is another leading story on the cover of Nigerian Tribune. Apologize to Tinubu, explain their anger during Abdulsalami Sultan visit. Explain how the coup staved off threats to Nigeria. That's the second leading story on Nigerian Tribune. And above that, we have bank recapitalization. Forest evaluation erodes value of 25 billion naira capital base. Above the masthead of Nigerian Tribune, we have Naicom Insurance. Naicom latches on $25 trillion global Takafu insurance for market expansion. Economy, CBN to clamp down on banks engaging in illegal sales of forests. Nominations open for 2023 Obafemi Awolowo Leadership Prize. That's the headline stories on Nigerian Tribune today. For more stories on that, inside stories, the editorial, log on to the website of Nigerian Tribune for that. From Nigerian Tribune, we have another paper on our menu, and that is The Guardian. The Guardian is leading with the story different from every other paper on Niger coup. CBN's Fiscal Irresponsibility Act. CBN's Fiscal Irresponsibility Act. Investigator probe CBN staff, consultants, NIBSS, NSPMC. The story is an investigative story carried out by The Guardian. Stories on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. CBN's Fiscal Irresponsibility Act. Investigator probes CBN staff, consultants, NIBSS, NSPMC. The story is on page 6 of the Guardian. Underneath that, we have ministerial nomination as litmus test for APC in Southeast. Ministerial nomination as litmus test for APC in Southeast. Niger military succumbs to dialogue, says coup in Nigeria's interest. Tinubu's reforms will fail without economic justice, ending corruption, says Bakari. Shareholders point fingers over court order barring FBNH from holding AGM. How fee subsidy removal impedes justice administration. That's the news analysis on the Guardian. It's continuing on page 4 of the paper. Above that, we have how 66 days of APC plunged Nigeria into further darkness by LP, that's Labour Party. How 66 days of APC plunged Nigeria into further darkness by Labour Party is the news pages on page 3 of the paper. For more on that, the leading stories, headline stories, inside pages, and the editorial today, log on to the website of the Guardian, www.guardian.ng. From the Guardian, we move over to our next paper, and that is Vanguard. Vanguard is still leading on the Niger coup development, and the Niger junta says on the Vanguard cover, coup, we struck to avert threat against Nigeria, Niger. We struck to avert threat against Nigeria, Niger, General Tichani. Shaibu says coup were intended, explains why they didn't see Tinubu's delegation led by General Abdulsalami. OK's dialogue as he meets Nigerian Islamic clerics. Fight corruption, insecurity, not Niger Republic, Catholic bishops tell federal government. Prioritize dialogue, diplomacy, Obi urges federal government ECOWAS. Beneath that, we have Shaibu manipulated NYCN election for Edo governorship ambition, Obaseki. Supporters cheer at concert for Niger's coupist. We have the story. Sorry, we had a picture on the Vanguard as you see some Nigerians carrying their flags during a concert in Miami yesterday. And beneath that, we have subsidy removal, key corruption, not Nigerians. Bakari test Tinubu. Subsidy removal, key corruption, not Nigerians. Bakari test Tinubu. We never received any coup request, says military high command. Serap sees Akpabio Abbas over plans to spend 110 billion naira on exotic cars orders. Budapest 2023, Toby Amusan's fate hangs in the balance. That is on sports. We move up just above the masthead. Fresh fuel price hike looms as landing cost rises by 37.4%. Fresh fuel price hike looms as landing cost rises by 37.4%. While I was retired as PEMSEC at 48, Oyegun as APC chairman. Find out why he was retired at that age, 48, at age 48. The story is on page 10 of Vanguard newspaper. NGC denies ceding powers on judges' appointment, promotions to governors. NJC denies ceding powers on judges' appointment, promotions to governors. For more on that, log on to the website of Vanguard newspaper, www.vanguardngr.com. Just before we also have the next paper on our menu, and that is the Punch newspaper. Punch is leading with a business story. Forest crisis. Marketers propose 720 naira per litre. Suspend fuel imports. Forest crisis. Marketers propose 720 naira per litre. Suspend fuel imports. No forest in CBN's I&E window. Fuel price hike imminent, say Moman Ipman. Marketers seek end to dollar scarcity. Naira slides further amid shortage. Let's take that again. Forex crisis. Marketers propose 720 naira per litre. Suspend fuel imports. No forex in CBN's I&E window. Fuel price hike imminent. Say Mooman. Ipman. Marketers seek end to dollar scarcity. Naira slides further amid shortage. Niger junta bows to pressures. Demands meeting with ECOWAS. CCB Sean's request on Tinubu Shetima's assets. ICPC greets agric ministry officials over massive fraud. Attacks on Ganduje cause Kwankwaso ministerial slot. APC spokesman. Attacks on Ganduje cause Kwankwaso ministerial slot. APC spokesman. And above the man said we have Niger, PDP, NLC, Bakare, Kaigama oppose military action. CBN staff loans jump by 113%, hits 40 billion naira. Military pledges loyalty to Tinubu, backs democracy. That is the story on the headline stories on the Punch today. For more on that, log on to the website www.punchng.com. And from the Punch, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu today, and that is our sister publication, the National Economy. The National Economy says as CBN struggles to meet demand, forex scarcity threatens business survival. As CBN struggles to meet demand, forex scarcity threatens business survival. Understanding NFC in contactless payment system. Understanding NFC in contactless payment system. Pains of exorbitant port charges in Nigeria. Time to switch Nigerian telecom sector to clean, sustainable energy. That is the headline stories on the national economy today, and that is Leadership's sister publication. For more than log on to the website of National Economy, www.nationaleconomy.com. Well, viewers, this is where we come to the end of the first segment of the show, Inside Nigeria, reaching you on Leadership Television. The second segment we are about to anchor now. Of course, we have our guests already in the house to do justice to some of the headline stories. Please don't go away. Just stay tuned.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God and country.
Welcome back. In case you're just joining us, the program is Inside Nigeria, your breakfast show on television. My name is Winifred Webo, and of course, as you can see, my modern guest is in the house. He's a political scientist, he's also a public affairs analyst. Aliu Elias, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now, you're looking trendy and vision.
Thanks so much.
How's your day been?
Very fine.
How was yesterday, by the way?
Whoa, it went.
It rained throughout.
It's only yesterday.
And I heard, it was almost across the country.
It's everywhere.
The rains are really here.
Well, it's very soon we'll also be crying for rain. That's how life
is. Well, you're welcome once again.
Thank you for having me.
Most of the headline stories today is on the Niger coup. It's still a developing story, and as you can see, the Niger coup has expressed its readiness to talks with ECOWAS. So how are you seeing the talks turn out at the end of the day?
Right. I think Niger Cool has a political and economic dimension, and that's why we need to tread carefully to go to the war with them. You could see what is on the Tribune today that Arewa farmers are saying they are losing 13 billion. So
Yes, 13
definitely
billion.
most northerners are now looking at it from economic perspective. That this is where they trade in. This is where they have. Beyond that, most of our northern leaders
Yes,
have
many of them.
investment there.
Yes.
Some even have as big as maybe refinery. Some have a lot of investment. And you could also remember readily what our president also said. The past president,
President,
that
yes, he said that,
he so
they
believed
have
in
cousins
exactly. He also say if you trouble me in Nigeria, I
I'll
will
go
go
to
to
Niger
Niger
and stay.
and rest. I don't know if you can stay there now with this military. However, I think it's ideal for the military juntas to take this route, because you see that when the Abubakar, our former head of state,
Yes,
when they
Abdulsalami.
Abdulsalam Abubakar, they said
And Sultan of
they are
Sokoto.
protesting the 7 days ultimatum because that's why they could not attend to Abdulsalam. That was the excuse they give now. But now that the Muslim cleric from the north has been there, because I also saw them having a post, a picture. I was thinking,
With
I was just wondering. So what I'm just trying to say is that I think now that they have come in, he's now thinking of how they can really come together. But I think they should give him ultimatum, maybe like 3 months to hand over to
you think
democracy
that short?
Yes, because he has also have prime minister and he has elected some people. But I think they shouldn't allow him to also take much time, because the more you allow him to take more time, the more he relax. So I think they should keep on this.
But you said 3 months. How many of these school junta have you seen that we actually hand over within that short?
I think Absalami was 1 year. Absalami,
our
former president.
You know, it's a peculiar case, given the years of.
But I think with this level of ECOWAS and international community having interest in Niger, it's possible if they can negotiate better with him. It's possible, because but there's a developing story. I don't know how true it is. That is also threatening that they are going to kill the former president because of what he has done. I've not seen it clearly.
Yeah,
but,
I think I saw it somewhere. Yes.
I think it's a contradiction. If you are saying that you want to listen to ECOWAS,
because I heard
and you
that
also say you want to kill,
giving him access to his doctors now.
Right.
They are giving him access.
I think that is fair enough. But it's a contradiction that you say you want to listen to and negotiate, have discussion with ECOWAS, and also you also say you want to kill the former elected president because of the way he malhandled the country. And you also say in a particular place that he actually toppled the government to save Niger and Nigeria. I don't know if you have seen that.
Yes,
so
that's what
it's quite surprising.
Yes, it's what's leading in.
I think he's trying to just defend himself or justify what he has just done. That's why he said he toppled the government so as to save Nigeria and Niger. It's quite alarming, that statement. So I think we should have more interest in that statement.
But now there's also a contradictory report. We don't know how far-fetched is by Nigerian throwing Niger into darkness. And of course, NERC alleges that they are owing Nigeria a substantial sum. Why some see it as justifiable, but others said no, that based on the agreement we had, and other reports have it that Niger was the first to contravene that, because they had agreement that it should not build this dam. But during the most years, 7 years of 8 years of Buhari's regime,
I think we should
that
think,
Niger was actually building.
I think
Buhari did not raise
there's this our local balance that we look away. I think Buhari decided to look away because of the interest he has in Niger. You know, Niger was doing this dam, and there will be information that yes, Niger is building dam that they're not supposed to build. So, and also Nigeria also is playing international politics now. Now, you did not pay us for long, and you are owing us billions of naira. But we never said anything. We keep on supplying you
power. But the agreement was to supply you power. Why you not build that?
But now the fact now remains that it is now that we now had the issue of truncating democracy in Niger. That's where we now cut off our power. And I got to know that even Nigeria said they are going to give them power for free.
Yes,
for free. So there's an international dimension in this. I think Nigeria should also should still remain big brother. However,
don't you think Nigeria should also weigh its options? You cannot just rush in, as they said that the fools rushing where even the angels fear to tread. Nigeria should also weigh in the international scene. What does it stand to gain? What does it stand to lose?
And that's why I think our formerly, I'll still go back to Buhari. Buhari has give us cheap to Niger. because he built the Maradi, you know, he built a lot of things,
Yes.
road and what have you, and he saw them building this dam. But from what he said, I want to believe he did it intentionally, that he's going to go there, and I believe he has done a lot for them that would be a safe haven for him. So now Tinubu now have to be careful, because you see that he's having a northern political dimension.
Yes.
Now the northern are announcing that if you go to war in Niger, it's going to affect them.
Us.
They are now saying now our trade is having problems. We are losing 13 billion weekly. You know, they are trying to canvass and bring reason why you should not go to the war. But let's come to Nigeria as a whole.
But we also have Western dimensions to it, who people also perceive as the one
pushing Tinubu. That's
it
it was even there in French newspaper that they are saluting Tinubu and what have you.
And that he will actually be having credibility to his
democratic office. But the fact just to me that Tinubu have to be careful. And I think you should take it cautiously. You recall that he became president not up to 60 days. He became ECOWAS. You know, that must be a game that made him, because I don't know how you become president if within some days, then you emerge. And there are other presidents that are there already. If we are saying a giant of Africa, we should not be pushed to what we don't want to do. So I think President Tinubu need to tread carefully. But thank God that the juntas are saying they are ready to also. So I think they should embark and embrace dialogue. It is better to judge than war. War is not what you
given
can see
the kind of opposition, kind of mass opposition to war in Niger, would Tinubu have gone ahead with that?
Well,
against or in spite of or mass opposition?
Well, it depends on how and the feelers is getting. You could see that Alassane Ouattara also came out, the president of Cote d'Ivoire, and said it is not Tinubu affair, it is not Nigeria affair, it is West African affairs. But I also fought Alassane Ouattara, because you are a president for the past 11 years. Okay. I don't know what you are preaching. And most of you from this Francophone, you always exceed, I don't know, Cameroon, all of them have been there for long. And I also want to even want us to revisit the policy of assimilation of the French government too, because we notice the citizens are saying no to the French government. Maybe they are tired of French, so and that's why Tinubu have to come with cautious solution.
Not you don't to be fighting for the West.
Exactly. Then we must also continue to be our brother's keeper as giant of Africa. So sometimes you don't just do things because you want to satisfy the West. Yes. You will still remain in West Africa. Exactly. You still remain in Nigeria. So you have to be take caution on these decisions.
Thank you so much. That is that on the Niger developing story in Niger regarding to Niger coup. Now we are moving to the headline story on the Punch today. Forest crisis. Marketers propose 720 naira per liter. Now this is a report that has been like making the rounds over the weekend. We didn't know how it's true, and now coming out on the Punch headline story today as Punch headline. That means we need to be worried.
That also corroborates the leadership where he talks about Agora policy, seek inclusion of FX monetary policies. I think Nigeria is at this point that, if you ask me, I think the best option for Tinubu is to reverse some of this policy. Yes. Because if you don't, you remember that the day I said it should be reversed, because there's no way you can succeed and sustain it. Now, first and foremost is that if you allow forex to be floated, and the way it's floating, you could see that it's floating. And we see that the floating is not favorable at all. Now the naira is heading to 1,000 naira now to $1. Now it shows that it cannot come down. It will keep up. Then what are the elements or variables that we need to put in place to make sure that this thing comes down? We don't have it. We must start from production. Now you don't have a productive economy. No, you don't have anything trading off. The only thing you are trading off is also oil. And this oil, you are taking it raw. I will call us rent seekers always. Take it abroad. So what are we also what are we using to really exchange for this dollar to naira? And that's the problem. So they have to return it and make sure that they start production as expected, and also make sure that, I always talk about short term, medium term, and long term. Now medium term, Tinubu has failed. I mean, in short term solution, Tinubu has, because in the next for the past 60 days, Nigeria has been from one trouble to the other economically. Now, the medium term, I hope we will not fail. You know why? You are telling us that they are going to be, refinery is going to come on board very soon.
How soon is that?
Now, you're even talking about Port Harcourt refinery. You're not talking about Kaduna, and Warri refinery. And these are the solutions to this problem. Because marketers are now saying, the worst thing is that the marketer has suspended importation of fuel. That's the problem. We should just look at this. It's very instructive. Marketer suspended fuel what? Importation because of dollar to naira difference. This is the serious problem. So it simply means that you have to revisit about 5 or 6 products now that you have to bring pushing or naira specific dollar naira exchange for that, such as manufacturing. Importation of fuel, it's very, very key. So maybe government should go back and say, those that are importing fuel, come and take this window of naira to dollar exchange. I think this is the solution to this economy. If not, remember also, if we have OPEC increasing the price of the crude globally, what will happen to us? We will not benefit. We will not benefit. It will also make the crude oil to increase. And when it increases, Nigeria will not benefit. That means we have to pay more. So we have 2 factors now making us to be seeing this increment in the price of petroleum, which is what the OPEC decision on crude oil, and also forex. So government have to come in place and make sure they're pushing this. If not, like I always said, the only subsidy Nigeria is benefiting is on fuel.
Yes,
and now we are suffering.
Some of my guests are.
That's what we are suffering. We have been in fact, before they remove the fuel subsidy, I told them that Buhari, as bad as we say Buhari is in his governance, he has provided some leeway that before he remove the fuel subsidy, we provide A, B, and C. Now, even the bus that we think is a low-hanging fruit, where is the bus now? Where is the buses?
No.
The CNG, I expect that by now Abuja should have like 3 stations, like a CNG station. Do we have one? No. So all these short things that they're supposed to do, because if they say CNG, convert your car, personal car 250,000 naira, Nigeria will go and convert their car immediately, because you wouldn't want to see a CNG of 200 naira and buy fuel of 317. And also commercial vehicle would have gone there to also break even, because they are also not breaking even. So I think the government needs to just do something meaningful so that we will not be in where we cannot. And IMF is pushing Nigeria further. I think we need to be careful at this juncture. IMF is pushing Nigeria further, that what you are doing is good, and even they are even telling them to even remove some things from about 43 commodities. Now, government is considering 43 commodities to really give a leeway and support. They're saying no, and what will happen to us in the long run? We'll just go cap in hand again to go and borrow from them. So I think government of Tinubu should not be a Western serving president. It should also look domestically and grow our economy.
And now, as fear is increasing, I'm just looking at what, there's a limit to what human Nigerians can do. How are Nigerians going to actually take it? If we are buying 720 and before you know it, maybe it rises to 1,000.
I don't even think government understand what they are doing now. You are killing purchasing power of the Nigerian citizen. And you are thinking you are bringing solution. Solution to who? Is it when Nigeria has died finish that you bring solution? So I think there should be caution in that area, whereby purchasing power could rise, because now many people have, like I said, have people where that I know very well. They go home twice a week. Now by the time this fuel increases, that means they will either shut the work or pack from home and come and work, be in the office for a long time. So I think they need to look at it. And it's also affecting our GDP. I'm expecting our latest inflationary report from MBA. You will see what it will tell. Because Nigeria GDP has collapsed. A lot of things are not working very, very well. So people that are collecting salary has not got any increment.
Yes. And
government still continue to allow for price to go. Like, I think it's a
what is the way out? Because we just cannot continue. And you say that, and they always tell us that is now market price is dictated. The price of fuel is dictated by market prices. What is the way out?
Which country?
Will the federal government just fold his hands and
which country in the world? Because I'm having serious issue. Which country in the world that will allow virtually all its economic variable to be determined by the market? Yes. It's quite difficult. Now you are not interested in naira. What have you floating of naira? How on earth? Go and check all these advanced economy. They can never leave their currency to be determined by the market. You have to look at what you are interested in and key into that and use that to influence what happens. Show me in the world also where fuel price is allowed to be determined just like that. There is subsidy virtually in one thing or the other. So what's the Nigerian benefiting? What is this government doing? So I think this government needs to go back and maybe to some percentage and reverse all this draconian policy. It's quite not friendly to.
What happens to Tinubu does not have economic team?
No. That's why we are saying that within this week, this president must within this week inaugurate his cabinet. You know why? If you bring in the cabinet, we will have more heads thinking about the economy. Because now the person in Minister of Finance will be working, the person in Minister of Agriculture will be working. So this will now help and give a balance thinking of it. And we have to also focus on CBN. So by the time he brings in the ministers and give them their portfolios, I think the job will be better off to an extent, because it won't be from the president and people just take decisions. Perhaps those permanent secretaries also may not have that political economic interest to also solve this problem. So I think it is time today is Monday now.
Yes,
I'm sure
Monday,
before Friday
August 14th.
they should inaugurate the ministers and give them their portfolio and let's see them working. I don't want to say maybe we have unqualified ministers. He has people that can perform. People that he has, he can, and performance is about leadership too. If you have good leader who if followers know that if I didn't perform in 2 years, unlike President Buhari, I will be gone. I will leave the position.
Yes,
They would like they would like to really perform very well. So for them to perform, there must be key performance indicator. Even before key performance, there must service level agreement that within 2 years we expect to do A, B, and C. And by the time you challenge them, they are going to do better. So I think, and I was thinking, Tinubu that we know that performed very well in Lagos, like we know. So we are expecting him to also perform. Let it not be the issue of Idiagbon to Buhari and also Pedro or Bokno to Tinubu. It should be that it is him that's leading and leading very, very well.
All right, thank you so much. Now we also have another story to discuss on the Guardian and the national economy. It's almost the same story. CBN's Fiscal Irresponsibility Act. That's the way the Guardian couched it. CBN's Fiscal Responsibility Act. Investigator probes CBN staff, consultants, MIBSS, NSPMC. And of course, one of the papers says that the point says that CBN staff loans jumped by 113%, hit 40 billion naira. And of course, we have a national economy. National economy says, as CBN struggles to meet demand, forest scarcity threatens business survival. Just what we just discussed on. So, what do you have to say about CBN?
Yeah, you will recall that there was a report,
and that it even borrowed money.
Yes, there's a report that just came out. That's why I have issue with Nigeria and people, the handlers of Nigeria economy. Now, ideally, CBN is expected to bring out their reports virtually every year. For successive 7 years, there was no report. And the report just came out recently, maybe with this interim investigation. I think it's the investigation that pushed out the report. Yes. Now, looking at the report, CBN has violated a lot of things. Looking at the report that just came out, CBN has violated a lot of reports. Don't even say only under Emefiele, say under President Muhammadu Buhari. Because if you look at it, everybody does not just act ordinarily. He has the president that is directing his affairs. So by the time when I go through that report, I saw that CBN actually had failed Nigeria woefully. They're supposed to go through a lot of processes. They didn't go through a lot of processes, and they are telling us that this is the level of debt, and DMO did not capture it. Not know that a lot of things has even happened that we don't know. I think CBN should be, there's a need to really overhaul that as CBN and looking at it following the normal process, because Emefiele has abused virtually every process and plunged Nigeria into this economic quagmire. I don't know how we are going to come out of it, because a lot of things has been abused. We only saw ways and means that
the ways and means
they didn't approve it until this review that now shows even they abused the process of ways and means. Because ways and means said you must consider the last budget and the last earning of the country before you can also give out. I mean, you must consider income level of last year before you can give money to or maybe support the budget before the budget kickstart properly. These are the things. So I think CBN has actually failed. So there's a lot of questions CBN governor need to answer, because how can you go is it JP and Morgan and go and get a lot of thing and mortgage Nigeria, I mean mortgage Nigeria and the Nigeria economy in the that you want to save Nigeria, and you're not. If this report has been coming every year, it will have been revealed that no, this is wrong. it won't happen the second year. Even our senator would have even come out and said, no, don't go through this.
But the senator, the ninth National Assembly that we had, they were actually robust.
Yes, it has just no. It would have make analysts like us, economists like us, to really see.
But you forgot
that
what happened, that when the
wrong.
finance minister went to tell the National Assembly, then the finance
That is not aware
of the bit to plan to change it.
Right, which I think she really tried.
Policy.
That means there is a lot of things going on.
And Emefiele told us that he has the backing of the president.
That's what he said now. That's why I said don't owe Emefiele. When you are talking Emefiele, please be talking Buhari. Because Emefiele acts on most of the things. You will also agree with me that Naira are redesigning. You can't say it's Emefiele sole decision. It is president. And president has even tried it before. So it shows that it's his own ideas. I don't know when our CBN, that's why I said we need right person to leave. We don't need rubber stamp. And if you ask me, we shouldn't even engage banker to be our CBN governor.
Yes,
because if you ask me, the best CBN governor for me still Soludo. Because Soludo, he was not a banker. He only wants economy and wants good thing for the economy. And he focused on recapitalization. And he did it, passionately. And that's the kind of things we do. So CBN have to be careful. I mean, President Buhari and Tinubu has to be careful in who he appoints as CBN governor vis-a-vis who is the minister. And he should allow the minister to an extent to even be control of the economy. Remember, when we have Okonjo-Iweala, Okonjo-Iweala is not only Minister of Finance. He was coordinating the economy. So that he will see to fiscal policy, he also see to monetary policy. Because monetary policy and fiscal policy are working in contradiction these days. Well, if you remember during Emefiele, anything that fiscal policy tried to solve, he will also go there and put money again. It becomes a serious contradiction.
So as it is now, Nigerians have a mounting debt.
In fact, I don't know. So I don't know how they are going to solve it, and it's just revealed. When the governor of Edo came out and said, Obaseki said they are printing money,
and they denied it.
No. When in economy,
initially
in economy, when they say they are printing money, it's not that they are printing money through machine.
Okay.
There is a term used. We call it EQ. This term simply means that government is trying to have more money in the public. They are now buying assets. Making sure they push more money into the economy. That's actually what they mean. So it simply means that Obaseki is actually right. They're saying that government is printing money. So in economy, when we say government is printing money, it's not that they are printing paper money. Yes, no. We call it QE, qualitative. It's qualitative easing. When you say qualitative easing, simply means government is trying to have more money, and that's what caused inflation. Government is trying to push more money into the public, and when you put more money to the economy, the ripple effect simply means there will be much more inflation. And it's right now we are close to 1,000 naira, like you predicted.
It's so sad. So what is the way out? Like I always want to
the way out is that government should reverse some of its economic policies. Especially, or government should select some items that they will consider them for a better exchange rate, like petroleum products and also manufacturing. I think that is quite instructive. And there's no way we can do it. We must also do it as early as possible before things get degenerated, that we have to go cap in hand again, borrow to even fund budget. That's the problem. Because now you say you are getting money, the money you are getting, citizens are worse off. So any policy that make people that are any policy in economies that make people to be worse off, many people worse off than people that benefit, is not a good policy. So this shows that majority of Nigerians, I don't know, except you are in public service and you are buying fuel, you are getting your fuel free, and everything is free. That's when you will see that you are not feeling this economy. Because it's really biting so hard.
It is. Now, is it that the government is seeing itself as weak if it decides to rescind the decision of subsidy?
Well, for me, it's an economy, so you don't see yourself weak. It's an institution. So if you get yourself doing something very wrong, it's not bad to come out. A big economy has even done it. So when you have issues and you think this policy is not serving the right purpose, please reverse yourself and come to drawing table. There's no way we can succeed these policies because our economy has not ripe up to the level of floating the naira level of allow market to determine even the fuel.
Yeah.
The
Even
fuel
floating
price.
in Naira, Buhari tried it in 2016.
And
They
they have to
yes,
reverse it.
because
So
yes,
it was not help. So I will advise
so I
President.
don't know why we are still going head.
I will advise President Tinubu to look into all this policy and make sure he reverse some of this policy, especially the one that affect the masses. The only thing that masses benefit from is this fuel subsidy. So I think what you need to do is that you may not want to go back entirely, but please bring out some items, some items like maybe petroleum products, maybe manufacturing area, and give them special naira to dollar rates. That will help the economy, and I think it will make us to bounce back and start planning. And in essence, President Bola Tinubu has, for me, has not done well in short term. He should make sure he do well in medium term by making sure that we have refinery working, or approve each state to have two modular refinery. When each state have two modular refinery, give them 30%, tell them to put 70, or give them 70, tell them to put 30. In 6 months, we'll have modular refinery everywhere, and we'll read, it will read, because like I tell you, 27% of cost of petroleum is transportation from international markets
landing
down
cost,
to Nigeria,
yes.
landing cost. So if you remove that, imagine how it is, and if you now produce locally, imagine how it is. So I don't think, and like I said about what's our big man name, the richest man in Africa, Dangote. Like Dangote also, President Bola at this point in time should have had a talks with him and said, when is this thing coming out? What do you
we
need?
had is 2025 March or April 2025.
Imagine, and on that's part of the reason why they have the confidence to even remove the subsidy, thinking he will come on board and it will solve the problem. And we must also remember he's a businessman, so now he has gotten license and is importing, so he doesn't even feel that I have in a manufacturing company that is not manufacturing. They are now importing. And in fact, we have to just revisit all this. So I think for Tinubu to succeed, he must succeed economically. It's very, very important. If you remove economy, everything collapses.
Thank you so much for that. I hope the president hears your advice on that, because the economy presently is in shambles. Well, viewers, this is where we end today's program inside Nigerian Leadership Television. Of course, we've been hearing from our political scientists, giving the analysis he's been making since, and of course also public affairs analyst Aliu Elias. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure to have you on the program. I look forward to having you same time, same station next week.
Much.
So viewers, this is where we end today's program. I'm Winifred Ugwebo. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Be part of our brand. Leadership for God.